Hello, I'm Dr. Jim Kirk. I'm an infectious disease doctor that works in the departments of infection prevention and antimicrobial stewardship at SSM St. Anthony's in Oklahoma City. I'm going to talk to you today about a hot topic of COVID-19 vaccination. There are a couple of vaccines out there now, in fact only two. There's the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines. These are called messenger RNA vaccines. They are not viral particles. They are not something that enters into your chromosomes. They simply borrow the protein-making machinery of the cell and make something called a spike protein, which our immune system reacts against to generate immunity. So the big question is, are they effective? And the answer seems to be very gratifying. They're highly effective. In the studies that have been done, both are about 95% effective and equally effective in preventing severe disease. The vaccines are part of a family of vaccines that may be coming out, but these are the only ones that are available right now. We've not studied them in some groups. I get asked frequently, can pregnant individuals or folks that are breastfeeding use the vaccines? And the answer is that while they were not studied in those groups, it appears that they can be used safely in that group. There's some concern that COVID-19 in pregnancy is a worse disease or can be a worse disease. It has not been studied in children. That's something we're going to talk about here a little bit later. Not really studied in people with advanced immunocompromising conditions like advanced cancer. But the American Cancer Society has recommended that we use this perhaps in conjunction and timing with chemotherapy to get maximum effect. One of the things I get asked about a lot is if I've had COVID-19, should I take the vaccine? I've already had it, why take it? The answer is we don't know how long natural immunity will last, and we feel the vaccine is safe, and as a consequence we can bolster your immune system and gain benefit there. So the big overarching question that hinders everybody is related to safety. Something I hear frequently are questions about, was the vaccine rushed? It seems like it appeared out of nowhere. The fact of the matter is these vaccines and the platforms they've developed on have been in development for probably almost 20 years. The original SARS, another novel coronavirus, MERS, Zika virus, and Ebola virus all have used messenger RNA vaccination technologies. The warp speed aspect of this has really been in terms of the production aspects, the risks that the government took in funding this that helped hasten their development. So the corners have not been cut in science. This is not a rush job in that sense in any way at all. I do get asked about other aspects of safety. What can I expect when I take the vaccine? It's highly individualized. Some people have absolutely no response in terms of side effects at all. I'd say most people get a sore arm. Many people will have either headache, muscle aches, joint aches, typically for 24 hours. I have had people that say they've been miserable for up to 36 hours. But when you contrast this with what happens when somebody's infected with COVID-19, I think it's a good bargain in a transactional sense. There have been concerns about anaphylaxis, which is a reaction that can drop blood pressure and threaten breathing. Through the last 4 million doses of the vaccine, there have been 10 cases of anaphylaxis, and all of these have been treated successfully. So it's a little over 2 per million, and I think, again, that's a good ratio. People also are asking, if I take the vaccine, shouldn't I get a reward? If I kind of screw my courage to the sticking point, so to speak, can't I throw my mask away, go into nursing homes, visit relatives, eat, and resume normal activity? And the answer for the time being is unfortunately no. We don't really know how long the immunity will last from the vaccinations. We also don't know whether you might be kind of subclinically infected. You may not get sick with the virus if you're exposed to it, but you could potentially still shed it for a day or so while your immune system is ramping up. So there will be an all-clear signal. If we all take enough of the vaccine, this target of herd immunity may be realized sometime in the late summer. Can't tell you exactly when. There are estimates that maybe 70 to 80% of the population take it, then we could achieve herd immunity. There's also been some discussion about some of the new vaccines coming out. For example, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is a one-shot vaccine. People think maybe it's better. Should I wait for that? I think the argument against waiting is that we're in a bit of a race right now. You all have watched the news and you're aware that there are variants out there. There are mutants of the original COVID-19, the United Kingdom, the South African and Brazilian variants. Some of these seem to be less prone to protection from the vaccine. And I think that if we delay getting people vaccinated, we're liable to give those kinds of viruses a chance to proliferate and perhaps become more threatening. That's why I'm encouraging people to get vaccinated really while the opportunity is in front of us and not wait for another day. I'd like to end by one of the, again, overarching questions. People say, why should I take this? And there are a lot of different reasons you should take it. One is just from self-interest and self-preservation. There have been over 400,000 Americans die from COVID-19. This is more than died in World War II. It's beginning to approximate the deaths in the Civil War. And while many of the people who have died have been elderly individuals, you don't have to go very far to see people in the prime of life who have died. You also look at people who are called the long haulers. Even people who have recovered may have lingering side effects for many months. If you also look at other populations and reasons to do this, we spoke about children, and I think that since children are not covered by the vaccine, we don't know that it works effectively. I would point out what I kind of call the Guardians of the Galaxy analogy. If you remember the character Groot that during a climactic scene of the movie enveloped his co-stars, he was a kind of a tree that could grow branches at will. He covered his fellow heroes in this envelope of protection, and that's really what we're doing as a society. Those of us who can take the vaccine are protecting children, the severely immunocompromised people that can't fend for themselves. Another analogy to end on is we're all in the same boat. If we row towards safety and towards the shore and pull together, we're going to get there faster than if only some of us pull together. So again, it's a personal decision about whether to take the vaccine. I personally feel and hope that many of you will decide to do that, because I think that is the off-ramp of this COVID-19 expressway, and that's where safety lies. Appreciate your attention. Thank you and have a good day.